Okay, we got a really cool one here from a subscriber, and this one goes to Wendy B. Thank you for your inquiry through the email, and she enjoyed the previous video I did probably about a week ago regarding the 1939 doubled Monticello Jefferson Nickel. It's a coin that even in low grades sells for quite a bit of money. So it's one of those coins like, hey, you know what? I really want to pick up an extra 40, 50 bucks in cash, and having to sell it is like a cakewalk because there's buyers for every grade type of that particular variety. So to help kind of piggyback and elaborate on other varieties that exist on Jefferson Nickels, kind of call it the making you need cash during this pandemic, and I have a series of videos for it. We have the most valuable Jefferson Nickel variety that is really easy to sell, sells fast, and sells for a lot of money. Now, in low grades, they kind of rival the doubled Monticello variety, but when the grades get high, I mean, watch out, ladies and gentlemen. It's a coin that sells upwards of $30,000. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to take a look at this particular variety. Again, very liquid in any condition. We're going to take a look at the diagnostics of this particular variety and why why they're not being found as often as maybe the doubled Monticello, which I firmly believe it's a little bit more common. However, this particular variety right here, I believe it's more of a case of not too many people are actually searching for it, which is crazy because the Jefferson Nickel series is popular in its own right. So before we go ahead and jump in, I got to do the YouTube thing. You know what that's all about. First time here, you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit the like button on the way out. Feel free to share this video on your favorite social media site, and most importantly, your support during these trying times goes a long way. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and keep the views going, brothers and sisters. Appreciate it as always. So we're going to go ahead and talk and deep dive more into this particular variety. And it's a 1942 D Jefferson Nickel. Now keep in mind, this is not the wartime silver composition. Okay, it's not the 35% silver manganese alloy. This is the actual just regular copper nickel type composition. Okay, so it's 75% nickel and 25% copper, if I'm not mistaken. But this is a really fantastic coin. Now, on the high end, okay, this is what an absolute beauty of a 1942 D Jefferson Nickel looks like. Of course, being the realist I am, the chance that you'll come across this coin in this condition, let alone one with this amazingly valuable variety, I mean, we're talking like lottery shot odds, okay? But if you're the type of person that likes a great challenge, that likes to go and cherry pick dealer stock and do the coin show circuit, which right now, not a whole lot of that's going on. Okay, your best bet is to cherry pick eBay or other online dealer sites for this particular coin. But this is going to be kind of like a high-end representation. So just for fun, we're going to talk about mostly the low-end stuff, but at the end of the video, we are going to discuss some pretty amazing sales figures for this coin in some of the highest grades. You're not going to believe it. Stay tuned. So this is the coin, the featured subject coin. Again, the mintage is okay. It's not super low. It's not really high compared to like a 1939 or some of those other dates. But this is a coin that pops up infrequently in change, and they come up when you least expect it. I've found plenty. I found my fair share of these, being that I'm an avid roll hunter. I have come across many 42Ds and this particular variety. So here's a close-up image of what we're looking for. So this has been, for all you cherry pickers guide people, you know who you are, this is cataloged as FS501. It's a repunch mark. However, this is a D over horizontal D mint mark variety. Okay, so you can see the main Denver mint mark right here, but underneath it you have a previously punched Denver mint mark that was oriented horizontally. All right, so for those of you that are not familiar with how the mint marks are placed on the dies, these are punched by hand. They use a long kind of like steel punch with the letter on the tip of it, and a mint employee or an engraver would sit there and tap the mint mark. So sometimes they'll inadvertently tap it in a different orientation, and then they'll have to re-tap the letter again over that to see, to have what you have on screen here. So this particular variety is highly identifiable in all mint state grades. Once you get down to like around a VF25, VF30, okay, it's kind of like the point of no return. Once the grade goes below that, like VG and fine, they're really tough to identify. More so to the fact that some of these older, kind of well-worn circulated coins are really gummed up with stuff, okay? So you're not going to be able to pick this out because the D might be filled with grease and dirt, okay? So that's why it's so hard to identify in lower grades. So generally the lowest grade that you'll see on this particular coin is going to be like a VF20, VF25. And once you see the image of that particular grade, it's like, oh, every other nickel of this age, it looks like that particular grade. So, it's really not as bad as it seems. For a nickel to grade out at good or VG, it has to look really bad. So there is the top end graded 42D. Now in full steps, there is actually one example in a 66 plus full steps. This one right here is a mint state 66 full steps. You can see the D over D, the horizontal D rather. And this one also has a secondary certification company sticker, QA, which is made specifically for modern coins. It's like the CAC sticker that you see on older coins. So this is a really phenomenal looking coin. This is a very high dollar example too. Yeah, a 5-cent nickel. It's not silver or gold or anything yet. This is a coin that commands many tens of thousands of dollars in this particular grade. So this is a coin that's more along the line of what you and I would typically come across, especially roll searching or going through change. Unless someone is breaking up an album collection or whatever and then depositing the money into the bank just to get it out of their hair. Oftentimes, this is going to be kind of like that marquee grade range. So that VFXF, in a 1942D is par for the course for this particular variety. Now, as you can see, even without blowing it up, with a close-up, you can see some of the grease in the middle here. But you can still identify that hump that comes out the side for the underlying horizontal D. Okay, even at this particular blow up of both the obverse and the reverse, that's really defined on there. Okay, some people have asked me, how do you eliminate the grease? Well, this is a coin that if you heat up distilled water, you could try and knock it off that way. So if you heat up distilled water to a rolling boil, you pour it into a cup or something, you could put this coin in there, all right, and see if it'll kind of eliminate some of the dirt, melt it off, or whatever the case may be. Okay, your secondary course of action, which this is a really cool trick that I picked up from some of the old masters, is a rose thorn. If you're able to obtain a rose thorn, like in your garden or a neighbor's garden or your neighbor's garden, wherever you can, you could use a rose thorn because it's organic and it's soft enough that it's not going to scratch the coin. You could use that to kind of pick away at the outer devices of that mint mark to get rid of any leftover dirt or grime. Okay, and that works really well, and it's not going to affect the grade any. So yeah, this is more along the line of what you and I would come across. So let's go ahead and talk about sales. All right, and these are the most recent eBay sales, but here's the thing. yes, all three coins are graded, and they're all graded by Annex, but there is no confirmed raw sales of this coin. And I'm going to tell you what the key is to selling this coin, so that way you don't even need to grade it. That's the crazy part. Now, the three most recent examples that sold on eBay from the top, I mean, we have an Annex AU58, which, you know, it's about uncirculated. It has been in pocket change at one point or another. It's circulated through the system for quite a while. You know, it's not mint state, so, you know, it's not something that came from a BU roll or a mint bag. So this one right here is a nice high-grade example. It's sold for $600, ladies and gentlemen, as an AU58. No full steps, nothing like that. Now, there are two other examples that you see here. Now, these coins are very liquid, ungraded at those lower grades. But the big key that you guys have to keep in mind, in order to sell this coin raw in like a VF25, pictures is going to be the key. If you can't take the close-up pictures of the mint mark, then you're going to have a hard time commanding the amount of money you need for the sale. Now, typical horizontal RPMs for 42 seem to fall in line to that $50 to $75 range, which is really outstanding considering that this is a low-grade coin to begin with. But as you can see, there's a couple of Annex graded coins, which if you were going to grade, Annex is probably the best choice based off of value. You don't have to pay a ton of money out of pocket to use their services. But as you can see, $65, and then another example at $54.50. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's money in the bank. It's really quick, easy, $50 to $100, $75 for this coin, depending on kind of like that lower end grade. All right. So, in terms of fun factor, this is the potential of this coin. Now, there is one recorded sale, as you can see, at $32,200, but you have to also take into consideration it's from 2006. So this is a 14-year-old listing. Take a look at the grade as well. This one is a mint state 64 through PCGS, full steps. I mean, it's got everything that you could possibly ever look for in a coin. And, you know, 2006, okay, that's pretty much the height of the economy before it went crashing down. But, you know, this is a really nice high-grade coin, 32.2. Of course, there are other examples that grade out higher. Case in point, this next one right here is a mint state 66 full steps with PCGS that sold in 2016. So this one is a more relatively recent example, but take a look at that. It sold for very similar numbers to that 64 example 10 years earlier at $31,725. And of course, we're going to round out the 30s with this mint state 65 full steps that sold in 2014 for $30,550. So for those of you that like to cherry pick, like, you know, coins online, this is the big time potential for this coin. 42D is very well struck. So finding one in full steps isn't going to be that big of a task if you do find a few to kind of cherry pick. This is a simply amazing coin at these higher grades. Now, to kind of round it out, okay, here's the next three biggest sales. We have a mint state 65 full steps that sold in 2014 for $28,200. We have another coin here, a 64 full steps, much like the one that we saw at the very beginning that sold for $32K. This one sold for $17,825, but this listing is 3 years newer. And then finally, we have this one here, the most recent of the six. This one sold in 2016. Keeping in mind it's a mint state 66 full steps PCGS example. This one dropped all the way down to $17,050. Keeping in mind, this is around the time when that one mint state 66 plus was certified. Okay, so that effectively dropped the values of all of the mint state 66 full steps to this level. I mean, it's still a wildly expensive coin, But, you know, there is a new big dog grade in the house, and it is that one right there. So, what do you guys think? I mean, there's a lot up and down the board, from low grades to the highest grades. There's all sorts. There's oodles of opportunity for you guys to check out. The most valuable Jefferson Nickel variety. I encourage you guys to not only try cherry picking for some of these high grade specimens, but also take a second look at some of those, you know, 1942 Ds that you may have kind of socked away, you know, because you did find them at one point, but you just thought, oh yeah, it's before 1950, so they're all, you know, keepers. So that could be the case, which is what I do. I keep all coins previous 1960 from the Jefferson Nickel era, you know, because to me they're worth about 10 cents. Double face value, baby. But there is a lot more money to be found, and this is one of those instances where this D over horizontal D variety is going to make a huge difference to a lot of people that do come across it. So I want to thank everyone for watching. Hopefully you got a few takeaways educationally from this video. This is like, you know, pandemic cash making opportunity right here. It's incredible. Feel free to like, share, and of course, hit the subscribe button. There's a lot of you new guys that haven't subscribed yet. I'm waiting for you to do so. I'm confident that one day you'll take that plunge. Coinaholics, I'm your host, Sean. We are discovering every single day. All right? Enjoy the hobby. Yeah, I lost my train of thought for a second. That's okay. You guys enjoy the hobby. Happy hunting this coming weekend if you're going to go out and get into some rolls. As always, enjoy. All right, take care, guys.